Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. This is Tony with Backwoods Biker Magazine. I've got the October 2019 fixed blade knife of the month and it's going to surprise you. You know I don't really like Damascus. Check this out. Hang tight. Welcome back. As I have been very vocal over the years, I like to look at Damascus, but you know, modern day Damascus, for a lot of the guys out there that are making them, don't get butthurt or upset with what I'm going to say, but a lot of the guys out there are building knives based upon look more than they are performance. And because of that, a lot of the Damascus that I have tested over the course of the past few years, they've failed out in the field. They've either broken, or they've chipped. I mean, just a long list of failure. And to me, you know, most Damascus, I won't say everything that I've seen, but most of it, you just can't take it out of the field because you cannot count on it. And to me, if you can't count on a knife to be worked with, to be pounded on, you know, you're going to do some digging with it, whatever. It's got to be able to stand the test of time. Well, back in March, I met a guy from Bloomington, Illinois. His name is Matt Kagel. He owns Kagel Custom Knives. And you've never heard of him because he's like way under the radar. He is a machinist by trade. He's been a machinist since 2001, and he's one of those guys that he's got a machinist mind. I've said this before, you know, about machining. You either get it, and I mean really get it, or you don't. And the machinists are out there going, amen. You know, so you know what I'm talking about. You either get it or you don't. But Matt is one of those guys that gets it. But not only does he get being a machinist, but he started dabbling and toying and experimenting with some blacksmithing, and he fell in love with that, and he started making knives, and now he has evolved to this place in his skill that he is producing things like this. I'm hoping that you can see the Damascus pattern. I know I got the studio lights up pretty high in order for you to be able to see that Abomination burl on the scales there. It's just all beautiful, but you know, I'm gonna just get right down to the bones of this, and we're gonna go over this knife real quick so we don't have one of these marathon videos. But as soon as I saw the knife, the design on it, picked it up, felt it, it's well balanced. It's it's just superb. So let's start off with the bones of the knife, and you know that the bones to me is the steel that the knife is made out of. He takes a billet of 1084 and then a billet of 15N20, which is basically 1075 with 2% nickel added. And he stacks those billets up, I think 6 billets, and then he begins to work it down and fold it, and you know, hundreds of layers are off in this Damascus. And it is a through tang knife. It's overall about 10 inches. The blade itself is just a fraction under 10 inches, or excuse me, under 5 inches. And from the hilt to the pommel is about 5¼ inches. So that leaves the blade about 4.75 inches, somewhere around that. The perfect size knife, you know. This is the guy right here, you know. This is the size that I like to take out in the bush for a bunch of reasons. You've seen me talk about that on the video. So that's the bones of the knife. It is a through tang knife, and it doesn't have a lanyard hole on it, but we're going to give him a pass on that. You know that I like knives that has a lanyard hole with a pommel that is exposed. But this is attached by a stud that's at the end of that tang, and then he screws it and he epoxies it on. The brass that you see here is C360, I believe it is. And if you can see these inserts here, these are G10 inserts that he has hand finished himself. He makes these himself. It's kind of like a black and an off ivory. And then on either side of the hilt is a mosaic, almost like a Viking style. You see those, but I mean it's real tiny. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's pretty cool. It's a rugged knife. The scales are made out of abonia, and he had to spell it for me, but that's what it is, abonia. And then the finish here, this is crazy. He used CA glue, cyanuric acrylic or acetate glue. I forget the right terminology for it. And it's crazy because I've used that thousands of times in my field of work. But man, it's very, very hard. And then he polishes it to a super, super high gloss finish. Same thing goes with the brass that he has used. It's very, very highly polished. It comes with a Kydex sheath. It's custom made Kydex sheath. And you can find these knives by contacting him. Now he is a very small shop, and he has a 6 to 8 week lead time on any of his knives. And he doesn't stockpile them. He doesn't make up 20 of these and sets them off to the side trying to sell them. I mean, he's a one-off guy. When you order a knife from him, you're getting your knife. And it's 6 to 8 weeks. The price on this guy here is $250 to start out. But for that, you get everything you see right here. All right, it's a beautiful knife. So, with all that being said, who would I recommend this knife for? Well, first of all, we're going to talk about collectors, because this is a knife that would look well in any collection. You'd be proud to have this knife. I mean, it is high quality construction. It's high quality design. I like it for a lot of reasons for a collector. I mean, it's just a beautiful knife. But because of its performance with us, I would recommend this to any hunter, to any outdoorsman. I mean, you're going to have to make some sacrifices here. You can't be one of those guys, if you get a scratch on this, you're going to fall down and cry. But if you want to take a knife out that's Damascus that will do the job, this will do it. It is a modified drop point, and it uses a hollow grind, which, as everybody knows, it's not my favorite because it's tough to sharpen out in the field. It's not impossible, but it's just not really easy either. So you got to keep that in mind. But if you order from him, you can tell him you want a flat grind on it, or you want a scanty grind. That would be my preference, especially for a knife like this. But it's a great skinning knife. It's great for processing wood for a fire. It's good for using around the camp. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you can do with this knife, and I wouldn't be afraid to recommend you getting a hold of Mr. Kagel. And the way that you do that is you get him here. The email is going to be down there. It's Kagel Custom Knives, Kagel with a K, customknives@gmail.com. And you reach out to him. That's the only way you're going to be able to get a hold of him, because he doesn't even have a website. He is like a recluse type of guy, and he'll build a knife for you. Now I'm going to give you a little reveal right here. I've been talking with Matt. I live in Morton. He lives in Bloomington, which is about 40 miles away, so we're close in proximity, so we can work together on a collaboration knife or knives. I told him that I'd like to help him design a knife that would be a outdoors survival style knife, and we've already got some drawings going on, and you're probably going to be able to see something here within the next month or so, and it's going to be designed for guys like you, but it is not going to be the pretty itty bitty guy that you see right here. It's going to be a knife that's maybe along this size here, but it's not going to be made out of Damascus, and it's not going to have this Abomination wood on it. It's going to be a working man's knife, and I'm hoping that we can give you an heirloom knife, put it in your hand, and I've got a goal to have it under $150 with a sheath included. So you keep an eye on that. All right. So again, it's KagelCustomKnives@gmail.com. This is our knife of the month, and I never think that I would be able to tell you that there was going to be a Damascus knife as a knife of the month, but here this joker is. And there's probably builders out there that are just as good, maybe even some better. I don't know. But I only review and talk about what I can get in my hand, not what others do or not what others write about. So, appreciate you watching the video. If you like it, hit that like button, share it, and then become a subscriber. When you do, we'll put you in our database, and hopefully we'll draw your name. This month we're giving away a couple of the Wood Tramp Gears SFK1 Survival Fire Kits. We're also giving away some bush butter. Those are the two main items I keep on getting requests that we give away. So we're going to do that here. And then next month we got some really sick stuff that we're going to be giving away for you. So become a subscriber. And write in the comment below. Let me know what you think about this knife. And by the way, I was also asked about the magazine. Well, get out on backwoodsbiker.com's website and go up there to the magazine, because the latest issue is the Backwoods Biker Summer 2019 Special Edition. Just got launched. Got some great stuff in there. Some good gear for motorcyclists that like to go out in the woods, and just if you're an outdoors person. So listen, until next time, you guys ride free, you live free, and as always, be safe out there.